All right, the next thing I want to go over is the other side of your compliance card. So we just went over this, and now we're going to talk about this side of the card. I like to call this your golf card of nutrition. So, when you go mini putting, you want to write down how many holes you've done and how many swings it's taken you to get the holes. This is kind of similar to that. You can't see it in detail here, but I'm going to have another video that's going to actually show the details of this card for you to take a look at. But basically, this is how it works. You have your 7 days of the week, and you have 4 weeks separating each one. So this is a 1 month meal card, all right? And every morning, what I expect you to do when you're on MTS Level 1 Nutrition is to take down your morning weight. So if you weigh 120 pounds, over here, you're gonna write 120 pounds, okay? Monday, day 1, week 1, 120 pounds. Tuesday, the next day, you weigh 122 pounds. Wednesday, 190 pounds. It's normal to have weight fluctuations. I'm just doing this as an example. But you would write your weight every day. Once you're done week 1, you'll get over here, and then week 2 starts over here, 126 pounds. 129 pounds, all right? Obviously, this person is trying to gain weight. But you will write your body weights over here. It's done in the morning after you've gone to the bathroom without any water in your stomach, without wet hair, all right? You weigh yourself first thing in the morning in your underwear or in nothing at all. Just make sure you're consistent using the same scale, and it's always first thing in the morning. Weighing yourself in the evening is completely useless. Don't even bother. And I also often hear the issue of, I have a scale and I think it's broken or I think it's not accurate. It doesn't really matter whether the scale is inaccurate, because from day to day, as long as the scale is giving consistent measurements, you're going to be able to measure the difference in your weight fluctuations, and that's all that matters. Every scale is going to give you a different reading. There are no magical scales out there, so don't worry about your scale. As long as it's not broken, you're fine if it's a little bit inaccurate. They all are. Next little row over here says meal 1. Now in meal 1, you have this little box, and you have the option of writing healthy, not healthy, or no meal. So healthy is a check mark, not healthy is an X, and no meal is a 0. So if I had my first meal of the day, I'll put a check mark, right? If I didn't have it, I'd put an X. If I don't eat it, or I skip my breakfast for whatever reason, I put a 0. That's basically how it looks, right? Very simple, very symbolic stuff. Right underneath that is the time you ate your first meal. So for meal 1, let's say I had it at 8 a.m. I would use the 24-hour clock system, so 8 right over here, and that's it, 8:00, 8 a.m. Or you could just write 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m., whatever it may be. There's not a lot of space, but that's what I wanted to do to keep everything tight and in a nice little binder. Don't worry about it if it's messy. It's no big deal. It's just a meal card. You could get another one if you want. You'll notice that right in that time slot, there's a little P with a circle around it. That P serves as a reminder to take a photo of your meal. So once you have your meal and you know what time you're eating it at, it's the start time that you're eating it at, by the way, that little P should be filled out or blocked out, and it should signify that you have taken a photo of that meal. What does it mean to take a photo of your meal? Very simple. You have your plate out in front of you. Your entire meal, everything you're eating for that meal is right in front of you. You take your hand, you place it right next to the plate, flat on the table. You take your other hand and you do a nice little bird's eye view shot, click, click, of your meal. And then I might ask you to send that to me through email so I could actually keep track of whether or not you are eating according to the plan. Because believe it or not, despite the fact that this is very clear cut, people's perceptions of how much they're eating or what they're eating may be skewed, and I'm here to keep you accountable and make sure that you are eating what you're supposed to eat. And very often I'll catch people lying to themselves or fooling themselves thinking, yes, I am eating enough protein, and they're having one little tiny egg every morning when they're supposed to be eating 2 pounds of protein. And it's just keeping you accountable, and basically there's no getting away with BS in this system. Everything is tracked and measured, and there's just no way you could fool me or fool yourself when you're doing more fit training systems. So that's meal 1, that's the time. Then you have meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, meal 6. Okay. Now, It doesn't mean that everyone's eating 6 meals. If you're not eating 6 meals, you could just come here and block this out. And you know that for week 1, you're not eating meals 5 and 6. And you just do that. Okay, that's how you would signify that you do not have a meal 5 and 6, because I didn't give you one. Underneath all of that, you have a sleep box over here. All right. So for your sleep box, you write exactly how many hours of sleep you've gotten. So the night before, I got 8 hours of sleep. I put in 8. The next day, I got 9. The next day, I got 8 again. The next day, I got 4. And you're just writing those numbers down every day. There's a little exercise box over here, and it's either a yes or a no, a Y or an N. Did you exercise? Yes, no, yes, yes. Okay, I just want to see Y's and N's. Again, keeping you accountable, keeping you aware of what you're actually doing, and you're going to be able to see it for yourself. Am I being consistent or am I not being consistent? At the end of the day, if you're not doing everything all at once, you're not going to get really good results. So showing up to the gym is obviously a big part of it, and keeping you accountable and keeping you aware is just a way of making sure that you are doing what you have to do. Over here, you have a little section that says habits. Now, what will happen is on this card over here, which I'll go over in a bit, I'll sometimes tell you to write down some habits for you to follow. So, for example, go to bed at 10 a.m. So bedtime, not 10 a.m., sorry, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. That's a habit for you. And every day you're expected to be in bed by 10 p.m. Sleep is important, people, especially if you want to get lean. So if you're not getting enough sleep, there's a problem. Now, it's not just about, I might as well speak about this now, it's not just about going to bed and getting a certain amount of hours of sleep. The time you go to bed will affect your hormonal balance greatly. It's one of the most important things that people underestimate. So if I give you a bedtime, take it seriously. And that sounds kind of silly, especially that, you know, I'm telling adults to go to bed at a certain time, but a lot of you guys do not sleep enough and you expect to have that flat stomach or that six-pack. Well, it ain't going to happen if you're not sleeping, that's for sure. So habits, you either did it or you didn't. So it's either a yes or it's a no. If I give you several habits, you either did them all or you didn't. It's either a yes or a no. There's no 60%, 70% here. You follow the habits because they're necessary habits. Sounds militaristic, but maybe I am a little bit. Finally, body photos. Every week I expect you to take progress photos, as you know, of your body from the front, sides, back. And you're supposed to email that to info@morefit.com. It's written right over here. That's how I keep track of how you're looking from time to time. Every week I want to see how you're looking. If you're looking better, everything's good. If you're looking worse or the same, then something's got to be changed. I'll call you up, I'll email you, I'll say what's going on, and we'll fix whatever the problem may be. But I caught it before it became too late. That's why my clients get results quickly. I catch the problems before they become bigger problems. You're not left to your own devices with me. I am mentoring you from A to Z. Every week, every day, I'm available to you to make you reach your goals. And that's pretty much the compliance card for this little section here. Below here is a little hydration monitoring device, we'll call it. And this is just a way for you to track your hydration in a very simple fashion. You have these little squares over here. Each big square is 500 milliliters of water. Depending on where you're from, you may not be using milliliters, but it's basically a little Naya bottle, your classic Naya bottle. And I will tell you, hey, you need to be drinking at least 3 liters of water a day in your first week, and I'll do something like this. Or I'll tell you to do this. I'll write this down for you, and I'll expect you to do this. And that's your goal water over there. You could put an arrow like this. And you're expected to write this down as the client. I'll write this to you in a message on your online account. And then I'm expecting you to mark up your sheet like this so you know what your goal water is for week 1. And I'll say week 2, your goal water might be 3.5 liters, then 4, then 5. And then you know that you gotta shade these out. Every bottle of water you drink will be 1 square filled in, just like that. Every glass will be 1 little quarter of that. And you fill that out every week, every day. So you know you're drinking enough. There's a lot of you out there who just don't drink enough. And you wonder why you get headaches and other health-related issues. Hydration, key component. Sleep and hydration, those are some simple things. Finally, your macronutrients. Initially, for your first month, you could actually write down what your macros are on this very card. This is actually level 3 nutrition, this little area over here. Normally what I do is I'll just message you in your members account and you don't have to write anything here. But if you want to write it over here, you can. And you could write how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats you're eating per day. You could even write the percentage, and you could even write the number of calories over there. And that's week 1. This is your training day, your non-training day, your refeed day. I write this for you in your members account. You could just write it down again for yourself, so you don't always have to check your phone. It's all right here for you in your book. That's why we have the cards in the first place. Is you could carry this book around with you, or you could carry these cards around with you in your purse or in your briefcase, and you're not going to feel like you're carrying a bunch of papers around. You have everything you need in terms of nutrition guidance right in front of you. And that's pretty much what the compliance card is all about. Don't forget to write your name and the date so I know which day you started. And you'll go through many cards while you're with Morphic Training Systems. That's it.